I'm back with another episode of Naked, the untold truth of what it is like going into adulthood after living with the 4 big A's: alcoholism, abuse, anxiety, and ADHD. That means that throughout the first 18 years of my life, that's 6,570 days full of belittling, shame, unworthiness, and those were on the good side of things, on the good days. We're talking about 160,000 hours of dysfunctional abuse, upbringing by the people who are supposed to protect me. That's a lot. That's 72 seasons full of pain, anxiety, and wow, so much. And we're going to leave that for a moment and start with, after all that, what does life look like for a child that comes out of that? I didn't choose my upbringing, and I'm not here to blame my parents for not knowing better, but I want to make you aware, because this is for adults. I want to make you aware of what you can do, or what happens if you don't do anything and you just continue the cycle of the generational pain. What happens to you, and what can you go through? So let's bring God into this, because he's everything. God, grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change, the courage to change the one I can, the wisdom to know that one is me. I've been talking about the time frame in my life where I was in a relationship with a narcissist. It was 9 months in hell. When I talk about it, there's some part of me that's shut off. Granted, this is the first time publicly sharing my story. And actually, for real, this is the first time I'm sharing my story. I've been saying bits and pieces to people, but I think it's important to give the naked version, and in the hope that you know what to protect yourself from, and honestly, that you get to see the truth of what happens and perhaps help others, as well as know that I was there and I'm here today. It is possible. It is possible to get out, and it is possible to free your mind after you're out. So I'm going to go just one drop deeper into some of the pains that came up then, so that it's better understood, the story. And it's really hard for me. When I think back, there are so many moments that he was attacking me on all fronts at the same time. The guy who shall not be named. I called him that after because saying his name out loud was too painful. In therapy, I've been learning to say his name out loud, but for the sake of these videos, I'd prefer not to. Just to keep me safe, you know? But the isolation was the hardest part. You see, for so long I had learned how to communicate with other people. I would stay isolated, keep, some part of me hidden, because I didn't want them to know about my childhood. While I was a child, I didn't want them to know what was really happening, because I thought I was always wrong. I never thought something was wrong with my childhood. I thought I was the bad one, and I didn't want them to meet that side of me. But I'd gotten good at having the friends there for the parts I did let them be there. And when he came into the story, he didn't allow me to have any friends. He had me alienate the few that wanted to be around me. He even had me slap one. I'd never raised a hand at anyone. And I remember I never really got to say it proper. I'm sorry. I tried. He wouldn't listen to me. But it just hurt because the truth was that he didn't see me as a victim in that moment, but I was just as much a victim as he was. I actually didn't see another choice. It was really either he gets slapped or I get slapped. And I did have another choice, and I know that now, and I was so scared. It's hard. I know it's hard. It's hard for me to make coherent stories, because you know what, most of it wasn't coherent. As I said, he had put me on Xanax a lot of the time, so a lot of my memories are foggy or unsure. I started battling with bigger feelings than I ever had before. But he made me believe I had to talk to him about it. And on some level, I liked it. I was so scared of a life that was out of control. I liked that someone was taking control of it. Then there's like many different incidences, and they may not be completely in order, but he crashed my car, and it looked like he was trying to kill me. I remember when the car stopped, and I remember looking, and there's a pole, and the car went in, and like it was like, it looked like I had this feeling, this moment where like shit was gonna crash into me, like I was gonna be killed. And I remember he looked at me really calm, and just like there was something in the eyes, there was something there that told me, like, if you're not gonna listen, you're done. And that's when the fear became crippling. And that's when I believed everything he said, all the threats. I believed he'd hurt the people I love most. I believed all of it. I believed every part of that. Then there was the part where he actually took out a house in my name, started messing with my credit, opening up bank accounts and playing games for like little money. And I remember when I look back at that time, all I can say is, I wasn't there. I hid far away so that when Chaya comes back, I can come back with her and help her rebuild. I wasn't there. And I want you to know, when it's not safe for ourselves, within ourselves, we hide. Our inner child, the core of us, the part of us that makes us us, it hides. It waits until it's safe to come back out. I know there's moments where as I'm sharing, I'm thinking, why is it so important? And truth is, I don't know why. I know that there are details in here that they're asking to be told. I feel like I'm being called to share them. And I don't know if it's to show you that you can come from the dirt and come back up. I don't know if it's here to impress on you how bad it can be if you let it escalate, or how bad it is to believe that you don't have a choice. I don't know which part is the part you need to hear. All I know is that this needs to be said, And if you're listening right now, there's something in here. There's a message waiting for you. And whatever you hear in your head, it might have nothing to do with what I'm saying. That's your message. That's for you. And I'm here to deliver it to you calmly. You don't need to go down all the way down there to see it. You don't. You can step up right now, right here, and take the message so that you can start learning from a place of growth rather than a place of intense pain. We all change under intense pain. But what about from the comfort of our homes? Imagine we could do that. Imagine we started doing that. We don't need to go down that big hill all the way to rock bottom, which is what I'm going to tell you about tomorrow. The time that my survival instincts really kicked in and I realized it was either him or I. And I held the gun that would condemn me for life. I never thought then I'd be sitting here and sharing this with you. And a lot of shame comes up as I go along. There's these moments where I feel ashamed. How did it go on for so long? Not one day, not 2 days. We're talking about 9 months of this. What's that, like 36 weeks? What's that in days? 36 times 7. Oh, okay. That's beyond me right now. That's a lot of days. That's a lot of hours. That's a lot of minutes. But you know what? After a childhood of belittling, a childhood of, I told you just before how many hours of that I did in my childhood. Is it actually that surprising that I came back out into the real world where I thought I had choices, but the truth is, the only thing that the brain likes to do is recreate what it knows. Because that is safe, even if it's not, because that is comfortable, even if it's not safe. Understand that? If you had a painful childhood and you haven't done any work on it yet, have you noticed some of the patterns that you keep finding yourself in? Some of the situations, the way you're experiencing this world? Is it similar to your childhood? I'm not surprised. That's what the brain knows, so it will recreate it. We need to create something different to have something completely different. Our brain needs to have the ability to burst open for that to happen. The reason I made the series I made before this, a 30-day challenge full of all different ways to break through, is because that is part of my formula of what I did and what I do daily to keep breaking through. Because that childhood, those years, they're gone. I can't change them. But they live inside of me. The body keeps the score. It really does. So, I'm here today to tell you there is a way out. I'm here to tell you that it can be so horrible, and your story may not be like mine. It may be very different, or maybe you feel like I'm saying literally a piece out of your storybook, a page out of your storybook. I just ripped it out. Either way, I want you to know you have the chance. You can change it just by recognizing first why it's there and how you're recreating it. So this way you start creating the chance to choose. So, God, grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change, the courage to change the one I can, the wisdom to know that one is me. See you guys tomorrow. If you like this, let me know. Like and subscribe right now.